Hey girl, hey, or guy, whoever's watching. I've been completely MIA, and there's a huge explanation for that. I know I've been missing pieces of the story of what I'm doing, where I'm at, what's going on. And I've kind of just been in this zone where I was trying to figure out before the whole move thing started, where I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, and how I wanted to do it. And I'd taken a poll, created a poll within the last year, maybe last summer, and I asked you guys, my entire audience, you ladies and guys, what you thought would be most interesting as far as content that I should create. Vlogs were number 2 and home decor was number 1. So I was like, you know what? If I can narrow it down to just those 2 things, it would make my life so much less stressful, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So let me explain what's happening, where I'm at, New York, Atlanta, Holland, what's going down. So back in January, and I have to go in a second, but it's good because there'll be some movement in the video. What happened was my lease ended on my apartment in New York in January. I'd been in New York for almost 14 years. I didn't know when I would ever leave New York, but I always said if I left, I wanted to be for something greater, something better. And a few times I came close to little things, but never anything on this scale, like moving to another country and that type of, thing happening, And then you guys know that I was in a relationship, still am, and I was going to move in with my boyfriend. I don't know if I talked about it on here, but I talked about it with a lot of friends and family, if you guys are watching, about moving, but I was just always so scared. I don't know why. Doing really big things freak me out, and I'm super over analytical. I overanalyze everything. I'm like, what if this, what if that? This should be perfect, that should be perfect, and it just would never happen. And so the last year that I was in that apartment in New York, it was surreal. I would have these moments where I would just break out in tears, just randomly. I'm walking in the hallway, walking to the living room, and I just start crying just because I was I felt a shift coming in my spirit, but I didn't know when and where. And it was almost like I was scared, you know what I mean? I felt my ancestors around me, my spirit guides, pushing me and telling me, it's okay, it's okay. You'll be prepared for this when the time comes. It's gonna be okay. And so it was almost like my spirit was preparing for what is happening now. And I think that's why I was crying so much. It's unreal to even think about, and to be able to piece it together now. I'm so grateful. So back in January, let me change clothes because I need to go to the grocery store and take a walk. This is one thing I love about this country so much, or just the place that we live. I'm able to I was talking to my sister on FaceTime. She was like, I can't believe you could just go for a walk and stop at the grocery store. That's insane. In Atlanta, we would go for walks around my mom's neighborhood, and her neighborhood was massive. I'm gonna go for a walk now, and I'll show you how close everything is. Grocery store, little cute stores I can buy knickknacks, pharmacy, stuff like that. It's literally across the street. So I'm really excited, but I need to change clothes. Time out, the time, I just have to show you this. It's 9:15 at night. This says 21:15, I don't know if you could tell. But it's 9:15 at night, and this is how bright it is outside. It legit does not get dark here until 10:30 at night. And I can show you. Let me go outside and give you a better view. So yeah, that's the one thing that I'm grateful for. I know a lot of people in my family, when I told them initially, they were like, oh, is it cold over there? It seems like it'll be cold. I would trade the cold to have sunlight for a longer amount of time. I just feel like it's better for your spirit and for your energy. And I just love sunlight. Especially coming from a place like New York, if you live in the north, specifically the northeast, the sun literally sets at 3:45, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun would set in New York, no joke, at 4 p.m., no more sunlight. So those days when I would sleep in to 10, 11 o'clock and my day wouldn't get started till noon, I only had 4 hours of sunlight. And do you know how crazy it is trying to cram everything into 4 hours? Run to the store, do this, do that, film, just enjoy the sunlight, right? Just really be in your space and enjoy the natural light in your home. It was almost impossible. But let me get dressed so I can run out of here, because I'll sit here and talk. So please don't be mad at me. I should have started the story when I was out and about so you guys can like, you know, get scenery, but I got some B-roll for you so you can see what it's like a little bit. So let me continue the story. I'm probably gonna continue it inside, but basically, back in January, you guys saw my video where it's like, I think it's the first moving vlog, and the thumbnail is of me in this green coat with my Doc Martens, and then make sure nobody out here. And I'm like walking in the New York City street, and then pictures of the building. That vlog, that was in January of this year. So I had initially, oh girl, that door swung kind of wide. I had initially moved then from New York. Now, of course, typical scaredy cat me, right? Typical scaredy cat fashion. I wasn't entirely ready to just let go of the New York apartment and just 100%. So what I did was I sublet the apartment. So that's why, oh my God. That's why there was like a double move, because in January, I sublet the apartment and I moved 90, so I thought. I moved 80% of my stuff to Atlanta to my mom's place. So, hang on, it's gonna get a bit dark here. Okay. Oh, this is really bad. I look really grainy. Hang on one second. I moved 90% of my stuff to my mom's place, and I just thought that, okay, this is gonna be it for me. Honestly, that was my guardian angels telling me like, sis, this is it, you know? Take the leap, make the move. Let me turn some light on. Ooh, girl, that's not much better, but yeah, I'll just stand here for a moment. That was actually my guardian angels telling me in that moment, like, this is it, you know, take the leap. Me doing the sublet thing, I set myself back with that because I made it harder for myself to completely transition out of New York once it was time to do so. So sublet the apartment, took like a month or so longer. So by the time I moved out and everything, well, got all my stuff out and created enough space in the apartment to be able to sublet to somebody, it was like February. And I was interviewing people, interviewed 3 people max. And at the third person, I was like, girl, this is it. You're the one, let's go. I was just exhausted and I didn't want to have a lot of spirits and personalities in my home. So I was like, no. After 3, I gave the girl the apartment. And this was like early March. So then something happened. I'll put you guys in on it later. And I had to completely I was like, this is it. I can leave New York. Like, I was so happy, so relieved. So I had to go back and tell my subletter, like, hey girl, I know you've only been here for a month, but I had already told her when she moved in, it was a month-to-month kind of thing. And she had agreed to that too, because she was originally from Florida. She wasn't sure if she's gonna like New York. She had just gotten a job here and she wasn't 100% sure about staying in New York. So it kind of worked out for both of us because she wanted a month-to-month. And she said every interview she went on to look at apartments, everybody wanted her to sign a full 1-year lease. So it worked out for us both in the end. So the reason why I haven't gotten a chance to come here and sit down and talk to you guys and film a vlog and talk about it is because from that moment where she's moving out, I'm now going to be moving out, handing the apartment over. So many things happened. At the end of March, my cousin Tiffany passed away. It was extremely tragic because it was sudden, unexpected, horrible car crash. Tiffany was like a sister to me. I loved her so much, and it was a very difficult death for me to process. I had never imagined someone so close to me dying, close in age and close in just relationship wise. And there was a lot happening there between the family, and it was just so much. It was so heavy that when we went to Jamaica, that was another thing. Tiffany wanted to be buried in Jamaica, and she was extremely vocal about that while she was alive. So we did a week-long celebration for her in Jamaica, as well as the whole family was just at her house and her mom's house the entire time before we led up to that. So I had a week of mourning her in Atlanta, being with her mom, being with my cousins. All the cousins grew up together. We were all super close. My arm is hurting. I gotta put this down. Okay, this is a little better. Sorry, lighting is not the greatest. I did not bring all my equipment here. I'm gonna tell you guys about the packing process and how like unprepared I was. So we mourned her for more than a week in Atlanta, and then we all packed up, went to Jamaica for like a week and a half, and mourned her there as well. And it was very intense, very heavy, a lot of emotions. Like, it was a lot. There was no way I was gonna be able to like film in between. The crazy part was my sister, if any of you guys follow her on Instagram, she posts a lot. Like, she posts way more than me. She's always joking, like, how are you the content creator? And I post more content than you. But I am very, I'm a huge empath. And so when things happen, they affect me on a deeper level. So I'm not able to function in other ways when I'm going through something else like that, like something deeply emotional. And Tiffany and I were a lot closer than my sister was with her. So for me, it was just like, I couldn't be like taking pictures and posing and trying to be cute. Look at me, I'm in Jamaica. It's like, girl, I am mourning this sister's death. Like, it was a lot for me. So it was extremely difficult. It was hard. It was a lot. So I couldn't post. I mean, I took pictures and I was there, but it just didn't feel the same to post it. It just didn't feel right. So you'll notice a huge gap on my Instagram where like I didn't post for a long time. And that was why, on top of the move and everything else that's happening. So of course, by the time we get back from Jamaica, we came back, I think the first week of May, because this was all at the end of April, funeral was at the end. We came back at the end of May, and then, the beginning of May, end of April. So I literally had just May to pack down the rest of the New York apartment. Now the truth of it was, I had a lot of stuff in that apartment. Like, the girl was so graceful with me having all my stuff in my kitchen, because my angle when I sublet the apartment was, girl, you ain't gotta buy no kitchen supplies. Like, you have pots, you have pans, you have plates, you have everything. So the entire kitchen was all my stuff. I moved most of my things out of the bathroom, so that was easy. I did have that separate room with my office / closet. I kept that. Good thing I broke the closet down. I'd already sent that to Atlanta because that was huge. Like, that was really massive and really hard to take apart. So it was a good thing that I'd already broken that down and that was already gone. Other part was, I had my bed there, which I had rented the bed to her. She didn't want the bed. At first she was like, I want to keep the apartment. I want to keep your stuff. Da 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 da. I love it. Da da da. And then when it came down to it, she was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna. That's just how life goes. I didn't get upset. I was just like, it's whatever, no big deal. I was a little annoyed because I was like, girl, I was kind of counting on you to just take everything over, whatever. But it was all good. It's fine. I posted the bed in May, but of course it was like the middle of May, so it's much harder to sell a bed later on than it is like posting it way early. So posted my bed, I had my couch in there and everything else. That's what I had posted on Instagram when I saw you guys last. And I was like, I'm moving out of my apartment. I have to sell all these things and I'm so attached. And I was attached. I didn't realize how attached I was. And I literally felt like one of those people from Hoarders. Like, if you ever watch, I'm obsessed with like Hoarders, 600 Pound Life, like anything that's about people living a very obscure lifestyle that's just different and just, I don't know, I'm into it. So there's like, every episode of Hoarders has a psychologist, an organizer, and a cleanup team. And I felt like I was in an episode where a psychologist was telling me, why do you need these things? And I was like, well, I don't know. I might need them and I want to open up a business one day and decorate people's home and I want to have like a stock of these things. And the funny thing is, I was watching Lone Fox's video, Lone Fox on YouTube, and he had a room, like a storage room where he stores like home decor items. So when he does a styling video, he has a place to pull stock from. That's what I wanted. So when I saw that, I was like, I know I'm not crazy, but it still felt crazy in the moment, like a hoarder's moment, because I was justifying having this business that I don't have yet. I have Styling In LLC, but I don't have Styling In Home LLC, nor have I started a home division under Styling In LLC. So I was kind of like feeling crazy, like one of those old ladies in Hoarders, like, yeah, I'm gonna sell it one day, and So it was a lot. It was heavy. It was a lot to process. But yeah, that's what had happened. So I managed to break down the New York apartment. It was a lot. I have to come back and tell you more. I need to cook really quickly. I'm getting winded. My arm is hurting. And I think the lighting is terrible. So I'm going to pick this up tomorrow and like fill you guys in on the rest.